Hello and welcome to today's live broadcast and rebroadcast. Today we're going to be talking about why women should start intermittent fasting now. And I'm going to share with you some of the things that, have kind of been warning signals to us women and why we shouldn't fast. And I'm going to share with you the reasons why we actually should be and why we should pay particular attention to some of those warnings. Michael, can you do me a favor? Can you fix the YouTube feed? So welcome if you're joining us live. Always love having you with us. Make sure you take a second to hit that subscribe button. And if you're on Facebook, make sure you take a second to hit that like button. And I always love hearing from our community when you're here. So please take a few minutes to let me know you're here. Let me know if you've been in a class with us, or let me know if what I'm saying to you have also experienced in your own life as a woman who has implemented fasting and a woman who maybe has been suffering from some of those aging type of feelings and situations that we all tend to go through as our hormones start to change. So you all know my story. If you don't, I'm going to kind of just catch you guys up a little bit. When I was in my late 40s, I started suffering from a lot of the things that most women start to suffer from as they start going through the aging process. So I was in the depths of perimenopause, ended up landing in a state of pre-diabetes where my insulin resistance just maxed itself out and just produced the state of pre-diabetic conditions that most of us go through, not even realizing that we are suffering from insulin resistance. I was also suffering from major mental and cognitive decline. I've shared with you guys here a lot about how I would have to park my car, buy a cart return at every store that I went to, so that when I walked out of the store, if in the least I hit every cart return in the parking lot, I would eventually find my car, because I had no recollection or memory at all of where I had parked. Same thing went for my keys. And then it got really, really scary for me when I got to the point of my sugar illnesses with the hormonal changes that I was going through, that I couldn't remember my own kid's name when I was in a conversation with them, standing face to face, looking them eye to eye. I knew I was going down a very dangerous path when these things started happening to me, and I was in my late 40s. I also knew that I had my entire life had been suffering from some sort of sugar problem, the inability for my body to regulate sugar as it entered into my system. And I also am a woman who grew up, in the 80s and 90s of the very low fat, high carb type of lifestyle. And don't worry about what you eat, you can always exercise it away. And that really did finally catch up with me in my late 40s as I was going through this new hormonal change. What you're going to hear a lot, if you are suffering from these types of things as well and you're researching things on the internet, what you're going to hear is people telling you as a woman that you should not practice intermittent fasting because it will damage your hormone balance, or it will cause you to have XYZ problems, whatever they're saying. I don't even pay attention to those things anymore. But for the most part, we as women, we are shunned away from fasting because of all of the things that it's going to do to us. When in fact, we should be strongly encouraged to practice fasting, especially intermittent fasting, because of all of the good that we are now proving that it is doing for us. We have proof of it every single day. Just read the comment section of the women who are practicing intermittent fasting now as our graduates in our community, and all of the benefits that they're reaping from it. For me personally, the first and foremost benefit that I reaped was getting my brain back and allowing my body the opportunity to, in fact, balance out my hormones. Remember, when you are suffering from hypoglycemia, insulin resistance, diabetic conditions, and the hormonal changes that take place as we age, you are in fact out of balance. So how can something like intermittent fasting make it any worse? We're already suffering insomnia, leg cramps, night sweats, what are the cognitive decline that we go through, the hormonal body weight that we are suddenly feeling stuck with, the inability to lose weight, the extra body fat, the loss of muscle, all of those things, they're already happening, yet those are always the things that we are warned about before starting something like intermittent fasting or before creating this intermittent fasting lifestyle for ourselves. So what are we really being warned against when all of those things are already happening? And that's why we're on a search for something better. Intermittent fasting is that one thing, that one way of living a lifestyle as an aging woman that will in fact balance out your hormones. The first hormone that we need to focus on balancing out is insulin. It's that runaway train for so many of us who have already been suffering from these sugar-related situations that are finally catching up with us. So many women are suffering from hypoglycemia. We run around fearful of where we're going to find our next meal. And it's holding us so captive into this lifestyle of being so food dependent that food is running our life. It's always first and foremost on our mind. It makes us not present in situations where we should be present with the people that we love. It makes us lose focus on some of the things that are really important to us because we always default to food as the fixer of whatever it is that's going on in our life because we're leading with fear. That feeling that we have of being out of control when we have a hypoglycemic incident, or when we're so insulin resistant that it's almost like we need that next fix so that we have that next burst of hormone release into our body, because that's what we're so used to running on. And we have to get ourselves to a point where we are not conditioned to respond in that way. It takes some learning. It takes some time and consistency to revert our bodies back to the way in which we were designed to live. And that is in a state of hungry. There's a reason we have a saying here in this community, and what it is I teach in my online course, and that is hungry is where the magic happens. If we think about how our bodies as the human being species was designed, is that we were designed to be hunters and gatherers. We were designed to have to go find our food. When we are in a state of hungry, everything about who and what we are as a species is heightened. Mental alertness, physical ability, energy, drive, endurance, all of those things that drive us into that sense of survival are heightened in a state of hungry. How can we not benefit from that as aging women? We're so conditioned to diminish or subdue or push down those heightened senses that we have in a state of hungry. Hungry is where the magic happens. That's where our body learns to self-regulate off of what we already have as storage. That storage is what's causing us to be out of balance hormonally. Intermittent fasting gives us the opportunity to balance things back out. First and foremost, insulin. Making sure that our insulin is being produced in our body in a way that actually benefits us and doesn't hinder us. Diabetes 3 is a sugar-related diabetic state that affects our brain, mostly us women, where we are so fearful of Alzheimer's and dementia coming down the road for us. I'm super afraid of it because I've already had those initial experiences of not knowing where I parked my car, not knowing why it is I'm standing in a room in my very own house, not knowing what my kid's name is when I'm standing right in front of them having a conversation with them. It's a scary and helpless feeling. And we need to understand that that is because we have a system that cannot regulate the way it's supposed to be regulating. And we have to give it the time to balance itself out. Insulin is that first hormone that is triggering the signs and signals for other hormones to also be out of balance. Because if you're suffering from insulin resistance, diabetes, hypoglycemia, that means you're already out of balance hormonally. How is it that you think that your other hormones are going to be in balance? We don't think about taking care of insulin first and foremost. That is what we should be focusing on. That is where intermittent fasting is going to help us women live a very successful life as we age. We do not want to enter our 40s and our 50s and our 60s and our 70s or even our 80s on a mental and cognitive decline. We want to enter these decades of our lives moving forward thriving in our own mental capacity, thriving in our cognitive abilities. We have this second half of life that we should be living to our fullest. We've raised kids. We've done the things that we need to do to get our family in order. For a lot of us, myself included, we've made very conscious and very loving sacrifices to have a family that was able to thrive and go off and do their own things. Why is it that now that we have this second opportunity to live our lives out passionately or start our own business or retire with our husband and go travel the world, why is it that we should live in fear that we're not going to have the mental and cognitive ability to be present in that moment? We shouldn't live fearful. Now there's enough evidence to know that insulin is that hormone that starts the major aspects of our imbalance. Get insulin in check and all of your other hormones will start to balance out as well. We know that here in this community because we have thousands of women from around the world that have gone through our course, learned how to balance out their insulin, and now are finding that they are in a state of hormonal balance. Hot flashes going away, hormonal belly fat burning off their body. We don't lose that belly fat, we burn it off when we stop relying on sugar being our primary source of energy, and we can tap in to those fat stores and literally burn it away as our primary energy source. There's nothing more satisfying than getting your body in a place where it's actually working for you and not against you. And as aging women, we have the opportunity to take full advantage of what it can do for us when we start living this intermittent fasting lifestyle. We teach it to you so that you learn how to do it in a way where you're not suffering, you're not sacrificing, and you don't feel like you're on a diet. All of everything that has to do with intermittent fasting is based on a timing thing, not on a diet. How long do you need to put your body in a state where it is not out of whack hormonally, insulin being that hormone that's going to leave that out of whack path, for your body to be balanced out so that when you enter into your next feasting opportunity, your body will have the opportunity to use those nutrients that you're putting into it for its primary source, and that is to nourish your body. Not to pack it away and save it for a later date, not to store it in all those really uncomfortable places that we're unhappy with as aging women, but to nourish your body to get you through the next fasting experience, to get you to the next feasting experience. It's a timing thing. And once we get the timing down, we can live our lives so successfully as we age, keeping our wits about us. We should not be afraid of losing our mind as we age. We should be able to have everything intact as we age and live our life to its fullest potential. But we have to get our hormones in balance. And hormone replacement therapy is not the solution for most of us in regards to getting our hormones in balance. We have to fix the sugar problem first. And the best way to do that is putting yourself into a fasted state that will allow your body the opportunity to drain out everything that's backed up, repair and heal itself on the inside, so that your body can start normalizing and balancing out its own hormones. Then you start getting all the things back that you feel like you're losing, and we get to go back to thriving in the lifestyles that we've created for ourselves. There is no reason to suffer. There's no reason to be fearful of where you're going to get your next meal from. We live in a society where food is plentiful. That's the problem. Not that there's scarcity, but we can mimic what we were designed to do as hunters and gatherers by creating a fasting lifestyle for ourselves, where we learn to feel comfortable and empowered in the state of hungry, where we can then take advantage of what that means for us as a species. And that's where we are living our most energized, most cognitive, and most heightened sense of awareness, because we're not pushing everything down by overloading it with those hormonal imbalances. Every woman, in my opinion, should be intermittent fasting at some level. It doesn't mean that we have to become extremists. It doesn't mean that we have to become fearful of food or food phobic. It doesn't mean that we have to become super prudy or purist about anything that we have going on in our lifestyle. All we have to do is understand the basics of what it means to live in a state of hungry, and allow that hungry to create magic in the depths of what it is we want to do with healing our bodies. I hope this is helping you women who are feeling scared because you're hypoglycemic, or scared because you know you're insulin resistant, or scared because you just got some report back to your doctor saying that you are on, your way to becoming diabetic, and you're going to have to be put on some prescription medication. Diabetes is a condition that we can reverse. It does not have to be managed with medicine if you understand how your own particular body is responding to insulin, and how your own personal body is responding chemically to what it is you're putting in it. You can reverse those conditions, and we have living proof all over this community of women who are doing just that. I'm proud to say that I have my wits back, that I no longer have to park my car next to a cart return. But what I did learn in that experience is that it's really convenient to park your car next to the cart return, because you can easily put your cart right back where it belongs when you're done shopping. But I don't walk out of a store anymore in a cold panic, wondering where my car is. I know where it is because I remember where I parked it, because my brain is working again thanks to intermittent fasting and my ability to balance out my own hormones, and you can do it too. Our class for October is open for registration. It starts on Saturday. The only thing we're missing is you. I would love to have an opportunity to change your mindset about what it is you're feeling about where you are in this stage of your life. There is no reason for us to suffer or feel dismal or scared or like life is over because we aren't looking and feeling our best anymore. You can look and feel your best at any age, and it starts with the decisions that you're making about how it is you want to live your life. And I'm here to help educate you and give you the experience that you can go through with other women, so you no longer have to live in fear around food, but that you can actually live empowered. So I hope you will think about joining us on October 5th. Registration closes on the 4th. I know we have a lot of women in our community here who are graduates, so I hope you are chiming in with all of the experience and knowledge that you have now as a graduate in our community. There's nothing more powerful than a woman who is living confidently in her own skin with all of her heightened senses firing off, so that you can be sharp and energized and happy and positive in every single day that you have been graced to live on this earth. That's the way we should be looking at our life, and we should not let food be that thing that's dampening that for any of us. I'm going to jump on YouTube really quickly and see who is here, and I will answer all of our comments and questions from anyone that's here. If you have a question about intermittent fasting, whether you think it's going to work for you, please leave it in the comment section. I would love to go in and answer that for you. There are people who should not intermittent fast, but it's so few and far between anymore. I spent the entire weekend this weekend doing so much research on aging and fasting and cognitive ability, and it's like I just want to scream from the rooftops that every woman should be practicing this lifestyle. You have to start practicing in the right way. You don't want, like I said, you don't want to put yourself in a box and become super food phobic. It's not about not eating. It's about nourishing your body correctly so that you can thrive in the life that you're living. And we need to take all the rules away and all those little idiosyncrasies about how people think you should be doing it and not doing it. You've got to figure it out for yourself, and you've got to understand that once you get your body thriving in that fasted state and you've depleted all of those things that are keeping you out of balance, then you can really live your life very normally, even when you're practicing a lifestyle of intermittent fasting. And that is what I think is the most amazing thing about what we're doing here in this community. Connie, thank you for saying hello to Michael and I. It's great to have you here. Emily, good to see you from Virginia. Susie, 2019 grad. I've been eating during my 6-hour feasting window, but last 2 weeks I've gotten the keto rash. Wondering if you have ever had it. I have not had it, but I've heard a lot of people who do end up getting it. I don't follow a strict ketogenic diet, so I have never suffered from that. But the best thing to do is just drink lots of water, maybe pull back if you're strict keto for a couple of days and just see if that balances out a little bit. And then just make incremental adjustments when you go back in, and that's usually the best way to get rid of the keto rash. P. Devoy, hello, January 2018 grad, so you've been around a while. Thanks for being part of our community. Susie, should I at some point figure out how many carbs, protein, and fat I'm eating in a day, or just keto, just eating clean when I want? Water consumption should be half my body weight in ounces. No, Susie, I always recommend drinking 100 to 150 ounces of water a day. Half your body weight in ounces is just like barely keeping you hydrated, and we really want to make sure that we're getting ourselves to that point where we keep our electrolytes up. So mineralized water is going to be key as well. But half your body weight in water is just definitely, it's not enough. So that might help you with the keto rash for sure. And counting your macros, I think, is a very personal thing. I don't do it. I've never done it. It's just too much work for me. I just really eat sensibly and make sure that the foods that I'm eating are the most nutrient dense for the lifestyle that I want to create for myself. But I know people who thrive in macro managing, so that'll be a thing that you'll have to figure out for yourself. It's not required. We have plenty of women in this community who are not counting calories or macros, and they're doing fantastic, and they're living where they want to live within their means with what they have with their body. So that's a very personal choice. If you feel like it would be informative to you, I say, yeah, give it a whirl and see if it works. And if it doesn't, you don't have to keep doing it. Devon, excited to be in the mind shift class. My boundaries are to break my fast at 2 p.m. daily. 1 hour to go. My goal is to get to 20-hour fast. Good for you, girlfriend. That's a great goal. And yeah, sometimes when you just set a time and you don't think about it, it's the best way to reach that goal as opposed to clock watching and counting hours. I think I'm going to be at, what did we start last night? 6, Michael?
Yeah, you're about 21,
21 hours fasted. I'll break my fast at 4, so that'll be about 22 hours. I feel great. So it is that thing that with time and consistency, you just build the confidence. And then when you really learn how to be energized in the state of hungry, then it's super fun for sure. So you'll get there, and congrats on setting those boundaries for yourself for sure. Holly, September graduate, excited about the mindset course. Excited to have you with us. Caroline from London, fast 16 to 20 hours, great success, daughter starting it now. That's awesome. Paying it forward for sure. I know Michael and I, our goal as parents has always been to leave a legacy of our kids of health and wellness, and to break some things. Like, I'm fearful of Alzheimer's because I've watched the women in my family and the generation before me suffer, and 2 generations before, my grandmother. And so I don't want my daughter to be fearful of Alzheimer's or dementia in her future. So one of my big whys is to retell our genetic health story for our family. And so my daughter and my son don't have the same fears that Michael and I might have because of lifestyle change, lifestyle choices or medical conditions of generations before us. So we have the ability to change the legacy of our family health-wise. And I think that that is so powerful that we can do that for our kids for sure. And there's nothing better for me as a mom to have my daughter like jump on a scale and be excited that she's gained weight, and be excited that she has this really amazing, strong, muscular body, and not ever fearful about her body being fat or her body being big. She lives in her body that is super strong and super powerful, and she loves it. And I think that is the part of changing our legacy that that we're working on here in this community as well. So yeah, for sure, have your daughter join you. It's super fun. Audrey from San Antonio, been IF for a month now and doing 24, down 11 pounds. That's fantastic. Emily, just wanted to say thank you for the info. I feel hopeful for the future of my body and for the first time in a long time. Yeah, good for you, girlfriend, and you're doing the work, so that's key. Dolores, joining you from Washington, welcome. Devoy, I'm doing 24 for almost 2 years, down 110 pounds. That is awesome. It's working for you for sure. Humble Pup, 54 years old, IF every other day. Past year, lost 45 pounds, feel great, not deprived. That's great too. You know, finding your ebb and flow with fasting is great. I always say that there's no right way to do fasting and there's no wrong way to do fasting unless you think you're fasting and you're actually eating. So if you're going to fast, make the decision to fast, and then the protocol that you choose that works for you is very personal as well. And then Melanie, starting tomorrow, fantastic. Shola, I'm starting today, fantastic. Alice, great to be with you and listening. Just wondered about the fact that I have no gallbladder. Does it change anything from fasting? We've had several women go through our course who've had no gallbladder, and I think what they have to do is just find the balance that they have with incorporating the fats into their lifestyle. Again, I don't teach any one way of eating, but I think what most of them are finding is not going heavy keto has definitely helped them, and then you just have to experiment with food like we all do and find your perfect combination of nutrients that work best for your body, considering that you don't have a gallbladder. So experimentation is going to be key for sure. Melanie, can I have coffee with milk while fasting? Milk is food, so that's feasting. The only thing that helps me not eat. Okay, the reason that it's helping you not eat is because you are giving in to the signs and signals of what your body's sending you, saying you need a fix. So that milk is creating an insulin response, which takes away the discomfort. And you have to get yourself past that so that you can go without feeling hungry to the point where you have to have something. So milk is food. And so that is definitely breaking your fast and keeping you in that area of not healing for sure. Let's see. Kathy, is it difficult? It is difficult for me to fast 20 hours because I have medicine that I'm supposed to take with breakfast. Not sure what to do about that. Well, that's when I say you have to go back and say, what medicine are you taking? Is it a permanent medicine or a temporary medicine to fix something that's not working well for your body? And your ultimate goal would be, if it's temporary, to get off that medicine. And you know, when you have to eat something because you're taking medicine, is that an excuse to eat whatever you want because you have to eat? Or are you being very specific and deliberate about what you're choosing to eat while you take your medicine that will also help you in this lifestyle of fasting? So there's a lot of things in there that I can't necessarily answer off the cuff because I don't have enough details, but think about what it is you're doing when you have your medicine and what's your big why for not needing that if you don't have to have it forever. And then Leanne, starting again today. Diane, what is the longest water only fast you've done? I really want to go longer than 20 to 24 hours. I'm not a huge fan of water fasting. It's not something that I enjoy mentally and emotionally. So I think I've gone 40...
About 4 days. About 4 days?
Not
3 days?
It was a little over 3 days, I think. I did really well when I fasted for my colonoscopy because mentally my mindset was I was making my colonoscopy experience easier for me. So that's where I've had my longest water only fast, but it was easy because my mindset was on something specific. I don't think I've done one that long since then. I just don't enjoy it. So I have incorporated some different ways of fasting that makes it just as beneficial healing wise, but I don't have to go only water. So again, water fasting is something that I think is personal, and you have to be able to really have a mindset to get through it. Otherwise it is just complete torture. So you have to test it out to figure that out for you for sure. And then Melanie, if you take them without eating, do you get a stomach pain? Because I take medicine while fasting. Okay, that's between them. August 2019, grad and just starting mindset course. 18 to 20 hour fasting is not an issue. Working on feasting choices. Thanks. Yeah, feasting is a thing that's an evolution. And we're going to talk about that more in our mindset course for sure, but you're going to go through some phases, and I say the feasting choices that we make is like peeling away layers of an onion, and as your life changes and as things become more important to you than specific food choices, it'll be easier to make those decisions for yourself. And then Mary, I've done IF before and loved it. Does anyone know if it's still good after breast cancer surgery? Fasting is that thing that does heal your body on a cellular level, so it will help you heal from just about anything and everything. anything. So I think that you're a perfect candidate for sure. And then Kathy, I'm supposed to take my medicine with food in the morning, not sure why. Research that and ask some questions about that. Oftentimes we do things sort of blindly because someone told us and there might not even be a reason for it. So I would maybe call your doctor or do some research on that particular prescription that you're on and see what kind of food you should be eating. And maybe if you incorporated a higher fat food when you were eating your medicine, it might actually help you get through that fasting window with not feeling like you have to eat. Let's see. I like living life on the edge, so I wrote wrong. That's okay. So the thing to be careful about if you're choosing not to eat food with certain kind of medicines is you don't want to have some like bleeding ulcer erupt or something like that, because that medicine is tearing apart your stomach lining. So do your research on anything and figure out why it is you're supposed to be eating before you just blindly make decisions for yourself. Carrie, really hoping to start a class in October, November. I'm struggling with finding my sweet spot window. Crazy, but work and family never seem to work out the way I hoped. Yeah, you need to jump in our course for sure, because we will help you figure all of that out. April, love IF, but may have to quit due to consistent diarrhea for weeks. So disappointed. So intermittent fasting doesn't cause diarrhea. It's something that you're putting in your body, or it could be the process of your gut healing. So I wouldn't necessarily give up intermittent fasting because of that. I'd figure out why it is you have diarrhea first. It could be something you're doing in your feasting window. It could be part of your gut healing process. Research all that before you give it up for sure. And then Trish, grad from 2019, things are going great, still work in progress. The Pink Rose Girl, how long after starting IF can we actually lose weight and feel energized when your hormones are balanced out? Kelly, September 2019 grad and currently in the mindset class. I love the flexibility of IF. So do I. And then, let's see. Melanie Schwartz, good to have you with us. Leslie from Pensacola, Florida. Mary from Ireland, so good to have you with us as well. Haven't seen you for a while. Erin, excited about the midlife course. Me too. Lori, feeling secure in this lifestyle. June 2019 grad. Love the way I feel and look. Yeah, that look thing is amazing too, right? When we get our hormones balanced out and how we just glow and feel and look healthy, it starts oozing out of our skin. So I'm glad that you're noticing that. And then Shola, can I take green tea during water fasting? Green tea is not water, so if you're water fasting, no. And then Karen from Pennsylvania just signed up yesterday for the October course. I'm excited to get started. We're excited to have you. Welcome to the community. Susie, when does the mindset course start? Thank you for all your answers before. Makes sense. Susie, it started today, so if you want to get in, you got to register today. We've sent out a bunch of emails. If you need to get some information, just let me know. Email me and I will get it to you. Amy, girlfriend, good to have you with us. Janet, good to have you with us as well. She is one of our alumni and has been around with us for a couple years. Love having you guys come back. Jennifer, I finally made it to a live event. Good to have you with us, girlfriend. Chris from Oregon, I'm also in the current class of midlife mindset shifts. So excited to learn more about this amazing lifestyle. I'm so happy to have you. Linda from Georgia's here. Lynn from September 2019 class. She is now part of our graduates community. Mary, now that I feel so much better after 4 months on loss of 16 pounds on IF, I felt good enough to start Irish dancing. Wow. I wanted to feel not frumpy and on top of my game again. IF does that for me. August grad, I had started IF prior to the class. Girlfriend, that's getting your life back, right? And that's the whole purpose of this community, is not feeling like we have to give up aspects of our life as we go through this aging process, but that we can balance ourselves out and get back some of the things we felt we lost so that we can jump back into our life and live it fully. And my gosh, girlfriend, you are a perfect example of that. So thank you for sharing that with us. Teresa from Texas, she's in the graduates course. Your courses on intermittent fasting have helped me make so many positive changes in my life. Girlfriend, we love having you. You're always a great influence on our community here. So thanks for checking in. Let's see who else we got here. Janet, happy to catch you live today. Spending the day inside at home, working on feeling better since I have a head cold. Truly feel that IF is helping me get over this quickly with less severity. Yeah, for sure. You know, we always feel like, you know, you can catch a little something that's going around and you just kind of feel the beginning effects of it, but you never get like knocked out. And so you'll be back on your feet in no time for sure. And you'll be feeling great. So I always say fast it out when in doubt. Jennifer, whenever I start having a hard time dealing with my hunger, I look up your videos. Helps me get over the hump. Well, good. I'm glad that they're serving you a purpose for sure. And then Martha, if we are a graduate of the program and want to join the October 5 course for a refresher, how does that work? Martha, you just have to email me and I'll give you some information on that for sure. So just definitely shoot me an email. And then Georgia, I absolutely love the information you share. I'm so happy I found your channel. So happy you are with us as well. And if you haven't jumped in our course yet, girlfriend, you got to get in that October 5th course so you can be part of our amazing graduates community as well. And then Jackie's here from the UK. Melanie, can you drink coffee during the fasting window? Yes, you can drink coffee. It just has to be black if you want to stay fasted and really have an opportunity to balance out those hunger hormones. And then Deborah, what is your email, please? I'm just now seeing this for the first time. It's DYANNPARHAM, so first name, last name, fitness, FITNESS at gmail.com. It's all over Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So you should be able to find it if you just click around. And then Nelly, can you drink Crystal Light during the fasting window? No, you shouldn't drink Crystal Light ever, in my opinion, but definitely not during the fasting window. And then I have pitting enema. Should I drink all of the water? I don't know. I don't know what that is. So let's see if we've got anybody else. And then summertime. I've been taking bioidentical hormones since my hysterectomy 5 years ago. I've been IF for 2 months. I'm trying to wean off. How long does it take to heal? If you're taking bioidentical hormones, it's probably going to take a little bit longer than if you weren't on them. In my opinion, I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell you to not take them or take them. But from a lot of the feedback here in our community, and again, this is just going off what we're hearing in our community, that once women balance their hormones out naturally, everything else seems to just fall into place. And we've had a lot of women who were on bioidentical hormones and ended up getting off of them because they had a whole new other battle that they had to deal with. So always do your research anytime you're doing those kind of things and make sure that the benefits are going to totally outweigh the risks. So you make a very conscious decision about what you are doing. But intermittent fasting will give you the opportunity to balance things out and will probably be the best way to detox off those hormones if you want to take them out of your system for sure. Always make sure you check with your physician who prescribed those things to you before you stop anything. Don't just ever stop anything cold turkey. You want to make sure that you're going through the right weaning process because your body's now dependent on those hormones being in your system, and going cold turkey could cause you to feel all kinds of things and go through some things that maybe you shouldn't have to feel. So get some advice from your doctor and then wean yourself off of them, and then make sure you give your body a chance to detox off of them for sure. So great conversation today in our community. Thank you so much for all of you who participated and posted a comment or a question. That is what we show up here for, to make sure that everyone is included in the conversation and the discussion here in this community. Everyone is welcome. I love hearing all of your feedback. If you don't know where to start, I always highly recommend jumping into one of our courses. It's 3 weeks where I teach you how to incorporate this in a sensible way for your body to understand what you're doing, and then we allow our mind to kind of catch up with that. But it is the best opportunity for us as aging women to balance out our hormones naturally and give our body the opportunity to deplete what we have in backup in storage, which is causing all of the things that we're suffering from. Hormonal imbalance, the signs and signals of hormonal imbalance, unwanted body weight that won't go away. You cannot lose weight when you're out of balance. So you have to balance out your hormones before you will lose the weight. That's just how our body is designed to work. And you start to lose the weight, you start to lose the fat. When you start to lose the fat, then we start to have everything else just fall into place because you're so motivated about everything positive that's happening to you that everything else in your life just comes alive. So registration is up for all of you. If you're on our email list, you're going to be getting emails this week, getting you excited about joining our course in October. The one problem we have every month when we close down our course registration is that group of women who have that FOMO, right? The fear of missing out. Don't have the fear of missing out. Jump in. Being on the sidelines is okay for just general information, but you won't get the full benefit until you have both feet planted in our course and you go all in. once you go all in, everything really does start to fall into place for you, and you'll start to see all the changes that you know you deserve to be seeing. So we will be back here Wednesday at 5 p.m., 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll discuss another topic about intermittent fasting for today's aging woman. Always feel free to email me, dyannparhamfitness@gmail.com, if you have any kind of questions about our upcoming course, which starts on October 5th. And if you'd like information about joining our Midlife Mindset course as a graduate, email me today as well, because that registration will be closing down today, and we will not have another course starting until 2020. So get in this one if you want in for sure. Thanks so much, you guys. I will see you guys on Wednesday. Have a good rest of your afternoon.